Alright guys, Rich here from the RC Network, and this is going to be the intro video to my Axial Yeti build. Now I plan to make the absolute ultimate Axial Yeti that you can find out there. As you see in front of you, you have basically the skeletal remains of an Axial Yeti, or Sasquatch, or whatever you want to call it. I basically plan to go to some of the best manufacturers out there in the RC world, and just turn this thing to an ultimate U4 slash durability slash fast rig. This thing will have awesome speed, torque, durability, and just it will look damn good. So stay tuned throughout the series. This will be the intro video, and then right after this it'll go into some parts that I'm using, and then at the very end of this video you will see how those parts turned out. So without further ado, check this out. The first thing I think about when I hear the word Driveshaft is I think MIP. MIP is definitely famous for their spline drives and their extra duties and their C drives, and they definitely do a good job at it being made here in America. The Axial Yeti uses a plastic, very long kind of double drive here. You can kind of see how not only is it a female side and a female side, but then you have this extra male side here that slides in between both of them. Now there's definitely lots of opportunity for it to not only twist, but to break and all sorts of other things. I think Axial did a great job of designing a plastic one, but MIP's done a better job of making a steel one. So went to my buddies over at MIP, great products and great group of guys over there that design these things, and picked up this. This is specifically for the Axial Yeti for the rear drive shaft, 14390. There's going to be a link in the video description directly over to this thing, but for 45 bucks or a little bit less on some websites, you're able to replace that whole rear section of your drive shaft with some MIP good old American steel. And this thing is definitely designed well and has all of the right bits and pieces to make this thing work awesome, especially if you plan to put some serious power through your Axial Yeti, and also with the stock power it already has, being a Castle 550 motor. So I plan to run a Tekin 3000 kV with a 3S system, so stay tuned for that. But I'm going to go ahead and get installing on this. I'm going to show you guys kind of what it looks like in the end, and any issues I had with installing it. So I went ahead and got the MIP drive shaft all installed on my Axial Yeti, and I've just got to say that it's such a pleasure to work with, just such highly engineered and crafted parts. This thing just bolted on so easily and so nicely. I mean, everything fit perfect, and it was just so nice to add a solid steel drive shaft to the back of this Yeti. Now, with the amount of power and torque that I'm going to be adding as far as electronics to this Axial Yeti, it just made sense to go with MIP's drive shaft on this thing. Solid steel, made in America. I mean, you just can't beat some of those things. Now, a couple of things in the instructions, I just want to point these things out. Definitely use plenty of the MIP grease. You'll find that on the one side right there. On the other side is the blue thread gel. Now, this thread gel is second to none. I mean, it's basically the strength of red Loctite. So be somewhat minimal when you use it, because it definitely locks on those grub screws and those through screws. So keep that in mind when you're using it. Use plenty of the MIP grease on all of the moving parts on your drive shaft. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this thing, bring it up close to the camera so you guys can check it out. But, just awesome piece here. Everything went on super smooth, and really happy with this thing. Right here you're seeing the spline drive going into the female section of it there. Definitely grease that thing up, and you can kind of see as it works into the suspension the full contact of those splines. Up here towards the rear, you're seeing some more grease on there. You definitely have a look of the through screw. Everything's bolted on nice. It's super tight. Everything is perfect. And then on up here to the transfer case, Hopefully you can kind of see that if I can focus in there. A little bit hard of an angle to get to, but just bolts on there, really nice. Once again, lots of MIP grease and everything set to go. So can't wait to really test this thing out and see how this thing will do. I've had nothing but great experiences with MIP drive shafts throughout the years, and I'm sure this will be second to none of them. So, well, that's it, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to check out my Facebook page. I have lots of detailed photos on there of this Yeti project, the befores and afters and stock compared to the upgrade parts. So definitely check that out. And then lastly, definitely leave a comment in the video description down below. I definitely like comments. I respond right away. If you have a question, I'm out for that as well. And then as always, thumbs up and subscribe. That's it for now, guys. Over and out.